If you're thinking about buying a home in Houston, Texas, you might be saying, hey, I don't have enough money for the down payment. What if I told you we recently had a client close on a home for less than $5,000 out of pocket? Would you be surprised? I was a bit surprised. In this video, I'll walk you through some of the things that we did to help them get into that home. And it's actually, a home here in Katy, Texas. So a very desirable area. We actually live in Katy ourselves right now currently. And so Katy's known for its great school districts. To buy a home, I'm going to need a lot of money. And typically we tell our clients, hey, you might need $25,000 to buy a home if you're looking to, kind of put the minimum down payment, maybe a 5% down kind of thing. We typically recommend that you, want to be staying in a home for 3 to 5 years because there are costs of purchasing and there's costs of selling. And then, a lot of people don't know about these, but there are down payment assistance programs that are out there. And we have some that, there's income limitations on some of those. There's some of them don't have income limitations. Some of them, are better than others, but we have a lot of those different programs out there. We look at and figure out what best fits for you. We don't just stick you in a box, say that's when you got to fit in or otherwise we're going to help you. So we try to help everyone. We always try to meet people where they are at and then help them walk along this journey. In this example, the client had limited savings, right? They only had about $15,000 in savings. When we first met with them, we go, hey, we would like you to save a little bit more, but we understand that this is where you're at. And so what we said, okay, based on your income, we can get you into this program, this T-Shack program. It's going to be a down payment assistance program. And then we had to negotiate, my wife was the realtor, and we need to negotiate some seller concessions up front. So we negotiated some seller concessions of about $5,000. And then there was some small repairs that we negotiated and gave them credit as well too at closing. And so their out of pocket ended up being under $6,000. So, I think this is a very doable thing for a lot of people out there when they think about getting into a home. And you need to make sure that you can afford the monthly payment as well. And we obviously qualified them on that and let them know what the payment was going to be. But I think you just need to stop getting in your head like, well, I don't have enough money saved, or I can't get into a home. And obviously home ownership isn't for everyone, but I do believe, we talked about this in other videos, that the American dream is having a home. And typically most Americans will build a lot of their wealth through home ownership, because of the home appreciates over time, right? And you're paying down the principal, and it's yours, and it's a place that you can establish a family and plant some roots down. So one of the main things that we can help you get into the home sooner is down payment assistance programs. So that's what we did with our client. They were set up for an FHA loan, right? So it's typically only 3.5% down, and you can get down payment assistance of 3% or maybe in 5%. So we have different loan programs that are out there that are available, for you. So some of them have income restrictions, some of them don't. I won't get into the nitty gritty on this video, but I do want to mention that, they had limited savings. We help guide them through the down payment assistance program, and we help negotiate some seller concessions up front because we know we wanted to keep their cash to close low as possible. And I'll actually show you the breakdown in a little bit here on the screen. You can see how much money they did, pay out of pocket. So this was a $300,000 home, right? So not a expensive home, but a nice home that had been remodeled here in the Katy, Houston area, right? In good school districts here in Katy. And so it was $305 end up being the sales price. Typically when you put down earnest money, you put down about 1% earnest money. They'd put a money down for an option fee, and then they end up coming to closing with $1,200 afterwards. So $1,200 at closing was their final out of pocket. Obviously, total that was about $4,400 and some change there. So under $6,000 realistically, but I was just surprised even to get that number in my head. Under $5,000, under $6,000 to buy a house here in Houston, Texas. Look at obviously they got down payment assistance of the 3.5%, which was about, almost $9,000. They end up getting a seller credit of $5,000. And then, the seller paid for the seller title policy, which is pretty typical. And then they gave them some credits for the taxes and insurance because we, bought the home, later in the year. So there was a lot of taxes that were owed and that the buyer credited to the seller. And I do a whole video, actually have a video about property taxes. I have a property tax calculator you can check out. I have a closing cost calculator you can check out. So lots of cool tools that you can use on our website, thegiffordgroup.net. You can check it out on my app there too. reality check for some people saying, hey, it's too expensive to get into a home. Just the idea of you getting into a home and being able to start your life as a homeowner for under $10,000 is just amazing, let alone under $5,000 out of pocket. So we work together, walk them through all the process, help them find the home. We help them, get the down payment assistance program that they needed that worked for them. And then we end up, negotiating the repairs. We end up negotiating some seller concessions. So like their out of pocket was very minimum, right? I think the idea was that we like helping new home buyers. And so if you are a new home buyer in the Houston area and you're needing assistance, you can reach out to us and we'll be happy to help you, get you into a home today. So, but as always, like we're here to bring you real life experience to all your real estate needs. So like and subscribe. So if you have any questions, reach out to me below. There's a link for you to apply for a loan, link to schedule a call with us so we can be of assistance. We love helping first-time home buyers. We helped a lot of first-time home buyers last year. It was really true a blessing to me and Amber to be able to help them get into their first home, help walk with them down this path and making sure they were making informed decisions along the way.